I fight it, huh?
The September 10th, 2014 meeting of the Zoning Commission of Ascension Parish will come to order. Staff have introduced themselves. We're all present except Mr. Callender, Mr. Chafisi. We have one staff introduction.
Patrice Johnson, Zoning Secretary.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the previous meeting? In that case, do I have a motion?
Move for approval?
Of second?
Second.
I have a motion in a couple seconds. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? All right. I have no comments. The first item is 7-1A, zoning review ID 2451.14, lots 3 and 9, Homeless Landing subdivision for Burnside Plantation LLC. Staff recommendation.
Staff recommends to approve the zoning request based on to provide a zoning category that allows uses that are more compatible with the historical property and can serve as a transition from medium industrial zone property that will remain west of Highway 44.
Right. Do we have any public, I'll open a public hearing. Or has anyone signed up to make comment? In that case, I'm going to close the public hearing. Any discussion here among the commissioners?
Move for approval.
I have a
Second.
motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Approved. All right. Item 7B, zoning tables in ULDC mobile home park and RV park.
So we had a staff report on this last month, and so this is the public hearing that the public is really interested in. And what we're talking about doing is pulling the mobile home and RV park use out of Crossroads Commercial and Mixed Use and creating a new category in our zoning tables that if anyone in the future desires to build a mobile home or RV park, their rezoning request will be to go to that specific use. The reason is we've had several people who have requested a rezone to mixed use, and we haven't felt that those locations were good for potential RV or mobile home parks. And so we've advised them against that, and so that's where we've started to take these steps. Those will be commercial zone categories, and then we'll have a mobile home and RV park category specifically for those.
All right. Do we have, I'll open the public hearing. Has anyone signed up to speak on this issue? Mr. Aguilar?
Billy Aguilar again, 1542 Allen Highway, Prairieville. Let me ask Ricky. Ricky, can I ask you a question? Are you going to leave the stuff in mixed use or commercial now? That's a mobile home park, or is that zoning going to actually be changed?
We are not going to rezone any property. Those will be left as existing non-conforming uses.
Okay, but they will, so if it's in a mixed use, it will remain mixed use unless they ask to change it to mobile home park or RV park? Correct.
We're not rezoning any properties.
Okay, that was my major concern, because there's been some problems, and y'all have experienced a few of them in the past, when they put zoning in effect years ago, if y'all remember, they changed a lot of commercial stuff to residential, and it was a public notice in the newspaper, and a lot of these people didn't know that they changed their property to commercial, and if they had non-conforming use and they didn't use it for a year or so, and they came back to open a commercial business, they couldn't, they had to rezone the property. And matter of fact, y'all turned one down last month, I believe, for the same reason. So my tip word here, if y'all are gonna change the zoning to mobile homes or RV, then everybody that has a mobile home park, an existing mobile home park and RV park, should get a certified letter, in my opinion, notifying them that that's gonna be changed. But if you're not gonna change it, then I guess this would be all right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Any other public comment? Yes, sir. Please just state who you are.
My name is Chet Simpson. I'm the owner of Oak Place Trailer Park, and he just answered my question actually, because I wanted to make sure that mine wouldn't be rezoned. Just have 18 acres of Crossroads commercial right now. But I am kind of concerned is how we're going to go about picking out what spots will be for mobile home parks to get it rezoned. Right now, it kind of seems if you want something rezoned, you have to go to that one councilman, and if he or she doesn't want it rezoned, you just kind of, it doesn't happen. So I'd like to know, what's kind of going to be the process to get things designated as a mobile home spot.
That's the way it's going to continue to work. If your councilman does not want a mobile home or RV park zoning designation in their district, they will actively go out and secure that those votes don't happen. But we've created a definition in the code that's in the third section, I think. I think it's the third item or second item. It's one of these items we're going to look at tonight. And it defines what it is and where it belongs. And so what it says is properties shall only be considered for this zoning designation if they're located outside of the most up-to-date 100-year floodplain designation according to the Ascension Parish GIS map and immediately adjacent to a piece of property that is already zoned mixed use, crossroads commercial, or MHRV, which is this new designation. So what we're saying is we don't want you to go grab a piece of property that's zoned conservation, completely surrounded by conservation, and zone that mobile home RV park, because that's not where they belong. They belong outside the 100-year flood zone and adjacent to commercial property.
A mobile home park belongs next to commercial property.
Today, that's the only place you can do one, so
Yeah,
yes.
You're right, it is. Yeah, okay. Mixed use of commercial, crossroads commercial.
Now, how would the grandfathering process work exactly? We'll take Mr. Simpson's park, for example. He would keep that, it would become a non-conforming use there. So he would be able to continue using it as long as he owned it, then when he sold it, it would change, or how would that work?
It goes by the license, so it depends on the license. If the license stays up to date, then yes, that new person or the new
So
owner.
if a
will
new
come in.
owner comes, it would still remain.
Correct, as long as you
with that
keep that
use, as long
license.
as it's being used for that. But
Correct.
if they stop using it for, what, 6 months?
6 months, yes, sir.
Then it would
Then it reverts back
lose
to
the
its under,
grandfathering,
right,
right?
it reverts to its underlining district, yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, so I have a hypothetical question for Lance that I hadn't thought about until right this second. So Mr. Simpson has 18 acres, 9 of it is undeveloped. And if Mr. Simpson today wanted to expand his trailer park, he would come before this commission with a new plan on that 9 acres. After this is passed, could he expand on that other 9 acres without rezoning?
The entire property would be non-conforming?
Yeah,
It
his,
would be
his
non-conforming.
trailer park would be non-conforming at that time because he doesn't fit in that zoning classification because you created that new zoning district that is now RV and trailer park.
So the non-conforming status is for the entire piece of property, right?
It's just like it is for all trailer parks that are in place right now. Yes, sir. All of them, I would say probably 70 to 80% of mobile home parks are non-conforming. They're, well, probably so, probably 90% are non-conforming. If they want to expand, they can't expand 50% of the non-conforming use of what the mobile home park's being utilized at the time of the time when zoning came into place, which all of them were in place when zoning came in as non-conforming.
But to do the 50%,
Excuse, sir, so that they can see you on TV.
but to do the 50% or add on to it, you have to meet all the current rules and regulations, which it makes it right now, it's not feasible to do, because by the time you do all of that, you just soon build it out as a subdivision and, cash out now rather than collect $200 or $300 a month for 15
Correct.
years. And that's
Right.
why you hadn't had any new subdivisions, any new trailer parks built probably in the last 10 years.
Right.
Everybody buys an existing one and upgrades them and keeps them on.
Correct.
So
The-
the
the new-
problem of building a new subdivision is almost taking care of itself, because it's not cost-wise to do it.
Right. The new part that would be in that non-conforming part, that would have to meet the standards that are in place today. They couldn't go with the old standards or anything like that. They would have to meet the standards that are in place today.
And actually, that's a little tougher than a subdivision right now.
Yes, sir, it is.
Because
Yes.
we have to build parking pads, concrete parking pads, parking spots. We have to meet the drainage, we have to meet the retention pond, we have to do everything now. I went to do mine here a couple months ago, and it costs way more than you could ever get back on it. It's impossible.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Derek Murphy? Are they gonna be different designations on the RV park, such as, like a campground type park versus a say, a work camp or temporary RV park or anything like that, or is it just gonna be an overall designation?
At this time, all we're doing is taking what's in the code today as mobile home RV park and pulling it out of crossroads and mixed use and creating its own category. This does not contemplate work camps or man camps or temporary housing or recreational campgrounds. This is simply taking what's in the code today and making it its own category.
Is there any other person in the audience that would like to speak on this issue? In that case, I'm going to close the public hearing.
Ricky,
Is there any more
why,
discussion here?
yeah, why on table A before, under Crossroads Commercial and Mixed Use, was it just mobile home parks allowed, yes, and now you switched that to contract agreement only? Under the new zoning, MHRV. Why did we switch that? What is, instead of just putting a yes? Does something change with the way that people go about putting a trailer park or an RV park down now? Time limit or anything?
No, I think what I was just simply thinking is that when a new mobile home or RV park has come through the process, they're going to go through one process to get the property rezoned. I would like it to come back to this commission, and that's where the contract agreement would be. They would get the contract agreement with this commission to say, here's how our traffic's going to work, here's how our drainage is going to work. It really is just to ensure that this body has another take at it. I mean, if you change that to yes, as soon as it's rezoned, you'll never see the plan.
Really?
Yeah. It's an approved use.
Okay.
This body does not see those plans.
So you want to add a little cushion with us being able to at least see it and make sure that we agree that it's going to work for that area?
Correct.
Okay.
Do we have further discussion amongst us? Do I have
I move for approval.
a motion?
I'll
Are
second.
we, are we doing all three, under number 7, B, C, and D, or are we just taking them one at a time?
One at a time.
Or
Or can we do all three at once?
Lindsay?
No, one at a time.
One at a
Yeah,
time.
there might
All
be
right, so
something
this
we
is
have a
this
problem with.
B. So I have a
14.8.
motion,
Okay, so moved.
I'll second.
okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Item 7C, DC 14-9 zoning tables in the Development Code, mobile home park and RV park zoning designation. So this is part of,
This is in the Land Development Code. It's adding the language that creates a new zoning category. And Lance has corrected one thing that I had drafted on the last page where it talks about 17-2021 Mobile Home Park RV Park District. Under item B, instead of saying floodplain designation according to the Ascension Parish GIS map, we want to revise that to say according to the FEMA or FIRM map, just so it's referencing what our GIS references.
all right. I'll open a public hearing on this issue. Is there anyone? In that case, I'll close the public hearing discussion here among ourselves.
Move that
we approve. Have a motion.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Item 7D, RM 14-10, revision to the zoning map, mobile home park and RV park zoning designation.
Similar to the last one, this is amending the map, adding a new color and a category, a line item. We won't have any parcels that have that color, but when we do, the map will be prepared and ready to go.
All right. Public hearing, any discussion on that? No one has come forward, so I'm closing the public hearing. Discussion of the discussion.
Move for approval?
I have a motion,
Second.
a motion and a second. Those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? I guess you should have waited till I said opposed before I
It worked.
gavel. All right. Number 8 on the agenda, site plan review. Nothing. 9, historical site, nothing. Conditional use. So, staff report.
No, I just want to point out, Lance asked me if there was a way to take all that stuff off. When we went to this new form of agenda, the agenda is created automatically, and it's populated by the secretary as items come in. So every month, the agenda is going to have unpopulated items, just because we can't control it. We have to, it's just a format. So when there's no items, there's just no way for us to do it.
But I guess I should mention them anyway, in case somebody out there, for some reason, wanted to make a comment on a unpopular, I don't know, unpopulated item. Anyway, staff report.
I have nothing.
All right, in that case, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
47.
Those opposed?